Hey, this is Prowlix, and this is a complete guide on how every engage with Panther should look like, against every single character. I'll be talking about the best combos to use, abilities that counter Panther, and be putting every character on a tier list. Take a seat, get your popcorn, it's gonna be a long one. Firstly, just to get it out of the way, tanks. As a rule of thumb, you never want to directly engage with tanks. Sure, if the rest of the team is dead and you have nothing to do, then maybe. But I still think it's more valuable if you instead regathered your cooldowns and got in a good position to start your flank. However, saying this, there are some tank abilities that will affect the way that you engage. So let's just rapid fire through them. Firstly, Magneto and Hulk. The bubbles block enemies from being marked, and also do not give a dash reset back if they've already been marked. Make sure to track the bubble cooldown and engage after it's been used. Next up, we have Penny. Now while Penny is a direct counter to Panther, I find that I can generally still get value against her, but you want your engages to be very fast. Spear dash, escape. No spinning kick. You will die more often than not. Next up, the Thing. If you get stuck in this Earthbound, you become a sitting duck as you can't use your abilities for 5 seconds. There isn't much to say here, except advice I've already given in my complete Black Panther guide. Only engage with the backline when enemy tanks and your tanks are brawling with each other. Next up, Thor. His dash does cancel your movement abilities, similar to a Bucky uppercut, so make sure to only dive with the enemy team tanks are distracted. Now Cap, Strange, Groot and Venom don't exactly impact Panther in any way, but you shouldn't dive them as you'll only be wasting your own abilities. Finally, even though Mr. Fantastic is DPS, he plays like a tank, and you shouldn't focus on diving him. Now just before I get into the DPS, if you are finding this helpful or entertaining, make sure to like and subscribe down below. I've spent a lot of time on this and it really does help me out. Now DPS. This is where BP starts to have some actual fun. Before we get into individual DPS that counter Black Panther, let's talk about some of those subgroups. Firstly, divers. These generally include Spiderman, Magic, Black Panther, Iron Fist, maybe, and Psylocke. Generally, as Black Panther, you shouldn't focus on these characters, as you'll get more value diving enemy teams' healers. However, saying this, there are some characters that are easier to dive than others. Magic and Iron Fist are a never dive, due to how easily they get overheld and their fast movement, that makes it difficult for Panther to effectively hit his combos. Spider-Man, Black Panther and Psylocke are all skill based matchups, as it depends on who can hit their combo sooner and faster. The next category of DPS is snipers. Snipers include Hela, Hawkeye and Black Widow. As Black Panther, these are almost always free kills, but I have grouped them together, as they have some counters to Panther. They all have some form of stun or displacement ability, such as the Hela Suck, Hawkeye Slash, or Black Widow Kick. Due to this, floor dashing can become ineffective, as you will be in range of their stuns. The best and most reliable combo for snipers is the Spear Dash, Spear Ghost Dash. One thing to be careful of for Hela is her bird is an almost instant get out of jail free card that can mess up your dash resets. Make sure not to autopilot your combos and try to bait out the bird before you Ghost Dash. Next up, flyers. Now there are only 3 flyers at the moment, Storm, Iron Man and Human Torch, and they all have the same archetype. It all depends on landing that initial spear, and then doing a dash, spinning kick, dash combo. One thing to mention is that Human Torch players like playing from the next map rotation, and they have a very fast dive escape tool, so generally it isn't valuable to spend your resources trying to reach him up there. However, Iron Man and especially Storm, after the initial spear, are pretty easy kills. Next up, we have Sustainers. This would include Star-Lord, Punisher, Squirrel Girl, and Moon Knight. Generally, the most effective combo for each of these is the Spear Dash, Spear Ghost Dash. However, it's important not to autopilot these combos, due to each one of these having a movement ability and high kill potential. Always try bait out or wait out Squirrel Girl's 2 jumps, Star-Lord's flips, Moon Knight's double jump / grapple, and Punisher grenades. Saying this, some of these characters are easier to kill than others. Punisher has no stun, and unless he one-pumps you, it is quite an easy kill. Star-Lord Blaster can do massive DPS to you, especially close range, so be wary of that. If Moon Knight places Unks at his feet, they can disrupt your dash, and do a lot of DPS on you, so avoid floor dashing on them. Squirrel Girl has 2 traps, that almost always result in death if you get caught by them. Again, it's important to bait these abilities out or play around them. Next, let's get into individual DPS. First of all, BP's biggest counter, Bucky. Half of his abilities cancel your dash. He gets overhealed at the press of a button, and he has 225 HP. Panther could hit every single bit of util on him and still not kill him before Bucky 2-taps you. Just don't try to dive with Bucky. Next up, Namor. While he is known for being Panther's biggest counter, playing against him isn't too bad, especially if there isn't a Luna team up. If there is, make sure to wear out the blue turret, and then start your engage. Also, be careful of his bubble, as it's almost instant and should be dealt with similar to a Hella Bird. Lastly, Scarlet Witch and Wolverine. These are both characters that are ineffective matchups for Panther. Notice I said ineffective, not hard. Due to their movement and escape abilities, and Wolf's overhealth, it isn't effective wasting abilities on diving them, rather than any other DPS or healer. Which brings me to my last point, healers. Before going into individual healers, we need to talk about certain healing abilities that essentially make the enemy team. These include Cloak Bubble, Warlock Soulbond, and Loki Crystals. You never want to start your engage when these abilities are already up, so try wait them out or bait them out. Next, we need to talk about invulnerability healing ults. These include Mantis, Luna, Cloak, and Invis ult. You obviously never want to fully engage when these are up. However, if both healing ults are up, it is effective for getting your ult charged if you're already close to it. Now that we're done with that, let's have a look at the supports. Every support either has a stun, an escape tool, or a near instant self-healing to increase the survivability, and some are better than others. This is the factor that will change your engage between every healer. Luna and Mantis are both 275 HP, and rely on stuns for survivability, which is the worst survival tool out there out of the three. Generally, you're going to see Mantis throwing their sleep at their feet, meaning if you avoid floor dashing and your mechanics are fast enough, a spear dash spear ghost dash results in a near instant kill. Loki and Invis both have escape tools, with Loki's clone switch and Invis' double jump. These can both be countered with not autopiloting your combos, instead waiting/baiting the double jump and then resuming your combo. While Cloak and Dagger also relies on a cloak form for survivability, she also has really good self-healing in the bubble. The goal as Panther is to bait the bubble out with the least resources possible, and then go in for the dive again to secure the kill. The spear dash spear ghost dash is the most effective. However, I've found that cloaks are able to disappear by around the second spear, so make sure not to autopilot your combos. Next up, we have Rocket and Jeff the Landshark. They're both extremely hard to kill, due to their movement. Your best bet is to try bait out the dashes for Rocket and then secure the kill, rather than autopiloting your combos. With Jeff, he not only has fast movement, but also bubbles that heal 85 health each, making him quite hard to kill. Only focus Jeff if there are no other healers or DPS which are easy to kill. Lastly, Adam Warlock. While he has no movement or escape tools, he has really good self-healing. However, if his two heals are down, he is a free kill. Also keep in mind, if you're making Warlock use heals on himself, that is majorly taking away heals from the enemy team, meaning even if you can't secure the kill, you're still having impact. With Warlock, always try floor dashing and sneaking in melee hits to ensure you do the most DPS possible. Additionally, the spear into the double dash is an effective combo, as it may catch Warlock off guard before he can self-heal. That is it, every single engage for every character's BP. Now the final tier list looks like this. Now this did take an ungodly amount of time to make, so if you can subscribe or like, that'd be amazing. But that's about it. See ya!